In 2014, UKIP topped the poll in what, until a few weeks ago, we thought might have been the final European parliamentary elections here in the South East. Since then, though, the party has suffered a wave of defections among its MEPs and councillors in the region, and its former leader, Nigel Farage, has now formed another party, the Brexit Party. So here he is at its launch earlier this month.
When I began to realise, back in November, December, that extension was almost certain to come, that there would be more European elections, I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a party. I'm going to call it the Brexit Party. But given that it's the most Googled word in the English language, I wonder whether the Electoral Commission would allow me to use the name. Well, they have, and you are here today at the birth, at the launch of a new force in British politics. Welcome to the Brexit Party.
That was Nigel Farage, the former UKIP leader, now leader of the Brexit Party. Well, joining me now is someone who's stuck with UKIP, the candidate who's top of their list in the South East and who stands the best chance of becoming a UKIP MEP if we hold the elections next month. Piers Wauchope, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Now, since 2014, when you were at a high point, as I just mentioned, you won the popular vote in the EU elections. The four South East MEPs have either been expelled from the party or left of their own accord, including Nigel Farage. Why are you still here, still standing for UKIP?
Because UKIP is the only party and the only mass movement party that involves people from all walks of life working for one thing, which is Brexit. And just in looking at that clip just now, really gives a lie to why the building up of the new Brexit Party, or the founding of the new Brexit Party, is all about. Nigel Farage left UKIP because he wanted to be in complete control without having any committees, any National Executive Committee, any input from anyone else, and has set up his own party and surrounded it with people entirely selected by him.
Well, it's early days. You're talking about the interesting. You're talking about the structure of the parties and the way
it's
that
not
they're
just the
run,
structure, but it's the way the selection has taken place for the MEP process as well.
Well, he's already pulling in people from across the political spectrum with that one aim, leaving the EU. And you must admit, surely, he has a cut-through with the voters, with the man on the street, that arguably your current leader doesn't have. Very few people, it could be said, know who your leader is these days.
Well, it could be said, but I think the next few weeks are going to be telling. I know that there's a lot on as far as UKIP are concerned. And I think people are going to have to understand as to why it is the Brexit Party has been set up. I don't want to spend my time attacking the Brexit Party, but of course UKIP, being the real Brexit Party, as far as I'm concerned, are going to be working very hard to get as many votes as they possibly can.
When they go to the polls, if they go to the polls in the EU elections, people will be confused, won't they? You both stand principally for the same thing, but they will know who Nigel Farage is, and that must be, you must be worried about that as a member of UKIP.
Well, of course there's a concern, and Nigel Farage knows full well, because when the last elections were in 2014, there was a fallout with some of the MEPs, and another party called then An Alternative for Europe, so it was top of the list, top of the ballot paper rather, was set up, and that cost UKIP at least 2 seats in the last election. It's going to happen again, but the thing that we don't understand in UKIP, or don't understand why it is, that the new party has been set up. Nigel Farage has gone away to set up that party when he could have stayed in UKIP. He could have led UKIP throughout all this, and he's been invited back to UKIP.
And unfortunately, you only have a few weeks to deal with it.
Well, exactly. So we're left with this mess at the last minute.
If I may point out, we covered this on the show a few weeks ago. I mean, one very stark bit of evidence about your decline in popularity is Thanet District Council, right here in Kent, where you had control. Now, in the local elections, you're only fielding 3 candidates. So many people may feel UKIP's done, the Brexit Party's on the rise, and why should they vote for you rather than the Brexit Party?
Well, I don't think most people across the South East are going to be looking at Thanet, but I take the point in Thanet, and what happened was management problems, I think, as much as anything. They all fell out with the leader, but people have just either resigned or they've set up their own party.
So isn't there a problem in your party? Which is it going to cost you votes?
I think that was a problem that is specifically Thanet, and of that I'm sure.
Did you ever consider joining the Brexit Party?
Absolutely not, no.
And if you do get elected as an MEP, what are you going to do to deliver Brexit?
Well, I think the same as any other good Brexiteer in the European Parliament is going to do. Because not only are you campaigning in the Parliament to make sure Brexit comes about, but more particularly, and I think what the election is about for most people isn't what the MEPs do in Europe, seeing as no one really knows what they do, as far as one can find out anyway, but it's just to make sure that there is a massive Brexit vote.
It sounds like you're saying vote for me as a protest, but I won't actually do anything if I end up in
I'm well capable of doing things, but I'm just saying that there's many of the MEPs that have been there. If you were to ask, as we spoke of the average man on the street, if you were to ask him, what do you think they do in Europe? And I'm afraid you'll draw a blank most times. So, of course, you can work hard. You can make sure that such legislation that affects the United Kingdom is going to be, that you're going to be standing up for the party. So,
thank you, Piers Wauchope. Thank you very much for joining.